Welcome to this introduction to the Forest Studio app, an all-in-one solution and learning environment for teaching and learning in different subjects. The learning environment can be used both online and offline, and as you can see here in the main view, it is built on three basic modules. So we have courses, a bookshelf including interactive textbooks, and a shelf filled with notebooks, which basically means that you can start your own notebook as a teacher or a student and fill it with your own notes. Let's start by having a look at an interactive book on the bookshelf. So we'll begin by having a look at a mathematics book that has been created based on the Finnish National Core Curriculum for high school. All the interactive books that we have here now are multilingual, so we can switch between languages very easily. So as of now, the book is in Finnish. So all the material is written in Finnish, but through one single click, we can change the language of the book to, in this case, the other official language in Finland, namely Swedish. And now all the material is in Swedish. In addition to different types of material, we also have tasks for the students to solve. Each section also includes a task or an assignment page. Some of the tasks are so-called basic assignments in the sense that they are automatically corrected by the computer. And these can be of different types, like multiple choice or fill in the blanks. But we also have these normal textbook-like assignments where students are asked to solve an assignment, and then we can solve them also directly in the book. We will see later how we can go about actually solving problems and adding our own material in the Forest Studio environment. Let's close the book and we move forward to a course. So what we have here is a basic course in the Russian language aimed at Swedish-speaking students. Although this material here reminds us quite a lot about the book that we just had a look at, it also has some differences. This is a course, so instead of being a standalone book, this is actually connected to the server, having an interaction between teachers and students themselves. And this can be spotted, for instance, through the course feed. So we have this tab, which makes it possible to send information to one student or many, and also send information about home assignments to the students. So we actually have a built-in functionality that can work as a notice board for the course. We also have a student dashboard. So when we actually have a course with students on it, the teachers and students can go in and have a look at how they are doing in the course. And finally, we also have a video chat functionality. So for instance, in an online course, we need to also have face-to-face interaction, real-time communication, and then we can use the built-in video chat directly in the application. So the three tabs are new for the course view. Another thing that's new is the pencil in the upper hand right corner. This means that we can actually edit the material. So whereas the books were read-only in the sense that we cannot change the material that's inside the book, except for adding assignment answers, in a course we can make any changes we want to all of the material that's in it. So here we have поедем, let's go. So we have a page here with different phrases in Russian. So we have images, we have text, and we also have audio. So we can listen to this audio clip here.
Как вас зовут? Меня зовут Юлия. Как тебя зовут? Как его зовут?
So in this audio clip, the teacher basically reads out all of the phrases that we have here in Russian, so that the student can both read it and also hear it. All of the material that's in this course has been created with one or many of the tools that we provide in the learning environment. So let's have a look at all of the different types of tools there are. At the bottom of the page, we can find all the tools available. And these have been grouped. So first we have some basic elements, so we can include text, images, embeddable elements. So anything that you find online that can be embedded in HTML can also be used in this material. And we can include links to other material. We can add containers and tables. So this group here has more to do with how we lay out our material. After that, we have a set of assignment tools. So we can create both these open-ended questions where students need to solve the assignment by providing material of their own, and these basic assignments where you can use multiple choice questions, shuffle questions, etc., which are then automatically corrected. After that, we have something we are quite proud of, a set of mathematics tools, which makes it possible to write mathematics, draw mathematical figures, create tables, etc. directly in the material as well. We can trigger actions from other elements, and we can create our own multimedia elements directly in the environment. So this, for instance, creates audio elements, such as the one that we listened to above. We can have syntax highlighted code elements, and we can add a list of content. So let's see how these work in practice. Let's, for instance, say that we would like to create a container surrounding these words that have to do with how we express ourselves in a lesson or a lecture. First, we have to click the pencil in order to activate the edit mode. After that, we get to see the structure of the current page. So we see that we have an image, we have a text element, followed by an audio element, followed by a text element, audio, and once more text. And what we want to do now is to create a container around this given text element. So we click the container element and drag it up to the screen, and we can place it in any position where we get to see this gray area. So let's, for instance, place it above the text element that we want to move within the container. If we want, we can add a heading for this given container. So let's say, for instance, during the lecture. And then we can place all the elements that we want to have within that container in it by grabbing the element icon, holding it and dragging it inside the container. The options we have here makes it possible for us to categorize. So we always use the same kind of container for examples, another type of container, for instance the T1, for theories, etc., so that we can actually distinguish quite easily between these. And if we would like to add some more information within this given container, that is also doable. So say, for instance, that we would like to add some audio to this container as well. For instance, so that we would say «Очень приятно» in an audio file. The only thing we then have to do is to drag the audio element to, again, a gray area and place it there. And then we can record our own audio if we so want to. So let's try to then pronounce «Очень приятно» and record it at the same time. «Очень приятно». And then we can play it. «Очень приятно». So now we added a container and a new audio element, and then by clicking on the eye we can see what it looks like. And now we can see that we have our new container during the lecture, the given text element within it, and also our own new audio element. And in the same way we can add material anywhere in the book. By clicking the edit pencil, we can also add new pages to the material. Underneath the heading, we can see C+, which means we add a new chapter at this point. So we will get a new numbering at this point. The plus here means that we add a new page, and the minus here means that we remove a page. We can also at any point have a look at the table of contents and also move pages from one place to another by clicking the button in the left-hand upper corner. By clicking the page that we want to move, for instance, and then clicking the buttons up and down, we switch the ordering of the pages, and we can also move pages from page level to chapter level and from chapter level to page level. The material is hence very flexible. When looking at the tools, we saw that there is a set of tools aimed at creating assignments. Here we have an assignment page, which the teacher naturally can edit by, for instance, adding new assignments. And the teacher can also then mark home assignments for the students. When a student gets a home assignment, he or she can solve it directly in the book. So we have some basic tasks here, which you solve by choosing the correct alternative in this multiple choice quiz. But here we have an assignment where you are to tell us something about a friend or about Pushkin. And of course, for that you actually have to produce your own material. And as a student, you have access to exactly the same tools that the teacher had access to while creating the material. So as a student, you can add text, images, embeddable material, you can create audio to give your answer, etc. So you actually have quite a lot of flexibility in how you as a student respond to assignments, but also the ways in which you as a teacher want your students to respond. So for instance, in a language course, maybe sometimes you actually want your students to respond through audio instead of only text. All of these tools are also available to the students. When the solution has been created, so say that we have text in our solution, and some audio. And here is my audio contribution. When we are happy with our solution, we send it off to the teacher by clicking the paper airplane. And then the teacher can go in and review the solution. The material that we see here now is quite black and white and gray, but we can at any point change the look and feel of the material by clicking the settings wheel in the left-hand upper corner. And here choose, for instance, grass, which is my favorite theme. We can also choose to add a dyslexia font, which basically makes it easier for those who suffer from difficulties in reading and writing to read and produce material. You can also change the size of the font. And as you can see, the entire look and feel changed throughout the material. So let's leave the courses for a while and go to the third component of the 4F Studio application, namely the notebooks. So notebooks can be used for taking notes, regardless of whether you're a teacher or a student. Notebooks can also be shared, so they are the perfect companion when you want to work as a group on a given subject. Let's create a new notebook. Give it a name. And then we'll click it to open. And just like an ordinary paper notebook, this one is also empty. So it has no content whatsoever. And now we start building this in the same way as the course material has been built, by adding chapters, pages, and adding material to those pages. So we click the edit button. And now we have the first page in our notebook. So let's call this, for instance, Physics 3. And then we might want to put some text here that describes what we want to do here. So say, for instance, that I want to add my first chapter. I click C+, and then I get my first new chapter. Let's call it Week 1, Electronics. And then I can create my own notes for Week 1 on this page and under subpages to this chapter, based on the same tools that we had when we were working on the actual course material. In this way, we build the notebook, adding new pages, adding new chapters, adding new pages to that, adding new chapters, etc. And at any time, we can go and have a look at the table of contents, and there we can see the structure of the entire notebook. And of course, also change the structure, just like we were able to do with the course material. So the notebook is basically the course without the course functionalities. So you don't have a course stream, you don't have the connection between teacher, student, etc. But otherwise you can use it for creating material in the same way as the course has been built. So now when we've seen all of these three different components of the 4F Studio application, we can see that they are quite similar. This has also been a very important design principle when developing the learning environment, as we want this environment to be easy to learn and easy to use, and provide both teachers and learners with an all-in-one solution which can be used in different subjects. If you want to learn more about the 4F Studio application, please visit 4furries.com.